Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. So tonight, I'll just put you down to my desk. Tonight I'm going to be showcasing two different ways of doing a shaker card. Now, one is so easy, I'm not sure a shaker card, whilst it is a shaker card, it is so easy to do. You're not going to want to, no matter who you are, this is one of those that you need to have in your kick bag. And I'll just show you how gorgeous is that. But you're going to be blown away by how easy it is. Now, this is a stepped up one. This is done traditionally, and it's actually in the new mini catalogue. And I got asked to showcase how to make it. Now, so it's this one here. So, I mean, mine's a little different. Now, the interesting thing is when I first made my version of this shaker card without thinking about it too much, I just went, oh, that's a hard way because of the butterfly shape. And so I sat down today and thought, let's work this out because it has to be an easy way. Look at this. It's just, I don't know whether you can, oh yes, you can see everything moving there. Hi Myrtle. So, how gorgeous is this? Anyway, two cards, so I want to get going. But before I get started, let's talk about the products that I'm going to be using tonight. There's a few here, and there's one more hiding all the way over here. I don't know why. Then half of it fell out. So just wait 1 second. Rightio. So tonight I'm going to be featuring the beautiful butterflies stamp set. I'll just take that because there's a fair bit of glare. I've got new lighting. Hopefully you'll be able to see that new lighting. Now, if you can see and hear me, leave a comment and let me know where you're watching from. So this is the stamp set I'm going to be using. So I use the sentiments and I use these, well, these three, oh no, those two butterflies there, I think. Then I'm going to be using these dies in particular. There's a lot of dies here. And you've seen me feature this set before, but I'll just make this a little easier. So we're using that die and we're also using this detailed die. We've got two of these in the die, so that makes this really easy. We're going to be using the butterfly bodies, and there's two of these in the kit as well. So let's just put these out of the way. So I don't lose anything, because you know me, I have a habit of losing things. Now, this die set also comes with an embossing folder. And it's called a hybrid embossing folder because you can actually die cut the embossed images out at exactly the same time. So you can see it actually kind of just slots in. So it slots in like that. And you can just run it through once and it'll emboss, and also it will die cut. So they're pretty nifty. But I know a few people are a little scared on how to use them, so I'm going to show you that today. Now, the other thing that I'm going to be showcasing is the Bokeh Impressions. I'll just put this in 6x6 designer series paper, which comes from the, let's just open it up. I know I've just knocked everything about then. The gorgeous mini catalogue, and it's actually, the whole suite is actually on page 38 and 39. I don't think it goes over the page. Oh, yes, it does. So it's this card here that I'm making a version of tonight. Mine's a little different. I just really wanted to get the shaker card mechanism, so I didn't really take too much notice. So you can see here how that die actually fits into the embossing folder. Here, let's get started. Now, just for those who may be interested, this is the Bokeh Designer Series paper. So you can see it's got these, whoops, it's like a, I'll obviously never been hired at a casino, will I? But you can see how gorgeous these papers are. Now, I've actually made these little paper holders. So on the back is the details of what my 6x6 paper is. I've got on the side actually what it is. And this is one of the projects that I'm going to be sharing with everybody who comes to my class on Sunday, which is the all-day, it's kind of like a retreat. It's a stepped-up class. Rightio, so let's get going. Let's make a little bit of space. Now I'm going to show you the easiest one first. And I have done some of the work. Just because it is easy, you don't need as much detail on it. So let's get all my little pieces out. They're a little hard. And I'm going to lose those black ones, aren't I? I can tell. Okay, so what you're going to need for this is I have some Berry Burst cardstock, which is 8 1/4 inches by 5 1/2. Now, if you come from the States, I know I have a few watches from the States, yours will be 8 1/2 inches, and you just have to change up the measurements by 1/8 of an inch. You'll easily be able to work that out. Now, I also have a piece of Designer Series paper, which is the Bokeh Impressions. I'm going to be using this pattern here. Now, I could have stamped a background. So many different papers I could have used, but I just kept to the suite because I haven't shown this paper before. Now, Glenda has said, sorry, oh, here comes Mischief Maker now. Hi, Anne and Kiko. Thank you, Kiko, for my gorgeous card. It arrived today. Well, no. Kiko decided that Glenda deserved a Galentine's Day card because she is always sticking up for Kiko no matter what she does. However, I'm going to ignore Kiko. Now, I lost a little, where's my little, here we go. Now, to make these cards, this is a simple one, you're going to need one of our clear envelopes. So they're available from my online store. Just type in clear envelopes. You get 50 in a pack, and this is the secret, and you'll see how easy this actually is. Now, I did pack a little spoon here. Now, I'm going to, first off, I'm going to place this piece of cardstock in the clear envelope. Now, I want it nice and tight in the corners, and I want this side showing. Now, I got a little spoon, so I don't even want to say, drop everything, and I can see that little Kiko is right behind me. Now, that's hopefully she'll settle down, but probably not. We may have to lock her out again, but she can kind of force her way in. So I'm just putting probably a full teaspoon of the little, they're called the Itty Bitty Bokeh Mix. They're also part of this suite, and you'll see how gorgeous these are. Now, shaker card basically done, but let's finish it off. So I'm going to turn this over. Hi Glenda, hi Pat, hi Sharon. So all I've done is sealed the envelope nice and tight because I don't want any of these little, as they call them, itty bitty pieces to escape. And I'm just getting some tear and tape, running it down here. This is how easy this card is, and how you decorate it is up to you. You could use any designer series paper. I know the spoon isn't what I should be using, but it works just as well. But let's use an embossing file. I'm looking for, I don't know. So this is my take a pic tool. I'm just peeling off the back. I always like burnishing it first because it makes it so much easier. And then I want to make this really, really tight. So look at that, shaker card, whoop whoop, done. So now it's up to me whether I want to decorate it a little bit. So I've added, only so you get to see the dies that are actually included in this bundle. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't normally probably use as brighter colours or anything, but it does make me happy, to be honest, when I look at this. I forgot to do something. Anyway, I've got to come back because I've got to cut out the other card, and I didn't think that through very well. Where's my Wingastella? I've got to cut out a piece for the other card because I actually use it on this card. But we'll get most of this done now. So I'm just adding some Wingastella because I like a bit of bling. I just won't be able to put this card together until I do the other inbox. I won't put this together, but I can put these together on. So you can see I'm not doing anything flash, and I know you're not going to pick this up. I wonder if you can all hear that bell going. You know what active bells mean in this house. It means a pussycat is up to mischief. She was fast asleep, and then, I don't know, I think another cat must have come to the front door because all of a sudden she is wide awake and ready to play. Just going to put, I can do these, do as much of this card as I possibly can. And then we'll move on to the stepped up one. So this is the little butterfly body. I've got another one here. Now these were cut out of the bokeh paper, design series paper, just to add a little bit of depth of colour. I'm going to put those off. Okay. So I'll show you what I'm missing. I'm missing this piece, which I actually make. I create that piece when I do this one. So we'll have to put this aside, but I've already got the insert stamped. I'm going to put that aside. So let's stick this in so I don't lose anything or get it confused. Now I've used the stamp sets from the beautiful butterflies stamp set. So how easy is that? And then what I'm going to do once I get that other piece is I'll put this all together. But until I get that other piece, I won't be able to finish that. So there's how easy was that shaker card. Oh, wait a minute, I can actually put another step forward. So all I did was to add some dimension. Oh, these are all stuck. That shouldn't happen. You'll see I've peeled off pieces. It's out of the 500 in each pack. I don't think I'm going to miss these couple. I know. So all I did was use our standard stamping dimensionals. Oh, my hand's now a little sticky. Now, for all those that tease me about using too many dimensionals, this will be another one of those days, I think. So you can see these cards are really easy to make. It don't take long. Lynn is the one who asked me to showcase how to do this card. So I see she liked the complex one, but now she's seen how easy this simple one is. She may not want to do the difficult one. Not that it's hard. It's kind of one of those that if you step through, it's pretty easy. I know. So you can see how this shakes. So let's just, it's a little hard as always for me to line things up because I have a camera in front of me. And this, I haven't got those edges perfect. That's not what was supposed to happen. I know, so let's glue this down. There we go. So I nearly got that card finished, and it probably took 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. I know, so we're going to put that one out of the way, and we're going to bring this one over. And, oh, so first job that we're going to do is to, and I hadn't picked this up when I first saw this card, is it actually has a stamped image underneath. So I'm going to do mine in Night of Navy. And let's get going. And then I'm going to cut it out. So I've got the big butterfly with all the detail on it. And I've got it in Night of Navy. Now I want to show you something I've re-inked. I've got pieces of stuff everywhere. And that little Kiko Glenda has settled down and being a good cat. Must be your influence. I know. Now I want this to be, so you can see I'm working my way around this. Now, just going to put this on a bit of an angle, leave a bit of space for the die. I'm going to close this up before I get a bit of a disaster. Oh, now. So there we go. So you can see because I've re-inked it, it's really quite bright. Compare it with the before I re-inked. So I was going to use this one, but that re-inking has made it really pop. Now, let me grab my cut and emboss machine, and let's start doing just some of the embossing and die cutting. So I've got to find, just pull out from here. So the first one I need is this one here. Oops. I didn't bring over all my okay, so just to die cut this, I might be able to, nah, have to do it like this. As you know, I have trouble. So I've got the platform, which is numbered 1. I've got the thin die adapter, which is number 2. And then I've got both my number 3 plates. So I'm going to put this in here. Now this is a die that I find might move a bit. So if you're having trouble with that, grab some low tack tape. You can use some of our masking tape. You can use some old washi tape. I think I'm going to be okay this time. I've got, especially for you fellas, my very flat plates, which means it's not going to move. Suzanne. I know. So I've got that where I want it. I'll put it through. Love that paper. It's really pretty paper. So there's this piece. Oops. Cut. So we're going to need that piece, and I'll put this piece away. Then I'm going to grab a piece of basic white cardstock. And this time I'm only going to be using the number 1 platform and also number 4. Oops, so number 4. That's all I'm going to use. And of course the embossing folder. So let's just put this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing for the moment. Now, so this is the butterfly I'm going to be embossing and cutting out. So I have, oops, it's on this side. It's on the one with Stampin' Up on it. I'm going to put this in here. Right, and so it'll, hoping you can see that. But I want to make sure I've got this piece in the right place first. So this is the piece I'm going to put in first, and I'm going to just secure this. So I need to get this, and put it on a bit of an angle. Wait a minute, let's just show you. And put it on a little bit of an angle. And I want as much space as I possibly can. So I'm just sticking this down just a smidgen, so that as I flip this over, so you can see this, so as I flip this over, this doesn't move. All right, so there's the die. So let's bring this back around. Now this is going to be a little harder for me to cut out because, as you know, I don't have, my wrist is pretty sore. So we're just going to fill this out. Now, whilst it's a little tighter than the other one, you can still see it goes through pretty easy. Just got to work a bit harder. And it shakes my camera a bit more. I know. Let's get rid of my cut emboss machine. Pull these out. Grab my... That pussycat's disappeared, and now I've lost my chair, so I'll have to stand up for the rest. Hey-o. Now, I want to peel off this low tack tape nice and gentle. Mine was probably a little less than low. It's a bit tackier than I thought it was. If I peel it off nice and gentle, it'll be fine. With all that pressure of the embossing folder, it does stick a little more than what you expect. There we go. So you end up with 2 pieces. This gorgeous butterfly, isn't it divine? Now we're going to put that one away for that other card. I love making cards where I use all the pieces. So I need this piece here. I need this piece as well. I've got, now I'll walk you through the measurements. So this is just a standard card base, 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this piece I've cut at 5 3/8 inches by 4 inches. Now, all I have to do here, because it's such a simple technique, and you can laugh at me, I've just got a little bit of low tack, there it is, tape here, is I just have to place this down. Oops, where are we? And you can see how much there's a little bit of difference in colour. And once I'm happy, I'm not gluing this down, I'm just placing it down. I'm going to glue the back of this, and I'm going to go to the very edge. Well, not the very edge, but close to the edge. So I want all this to stick down well, but I don't want to put too much glue on, because you know me, I'm fairly generous with my glue. I don't want to put too much down because I don't want it to squish out anyway. No. So we're going to, I've got to be satisfied. Actually, I'm going to do something which I didn't do before. I've got my little clips here that make it so easy. So I want to line this up nice and straight. All right. So I'm just going to clip this to hold it into place so it doesn't move. Come back over here, and in that negative space I'm going to drop that little butterfly in. Now take away the clips, pick this up, and there's my butterfly. So it doesn't have to be straight, it can be at a little angle, you can do it however you like. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add some of the foam adhesive strips around the shape of the butterfly. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, you're just trying to get it as close to this edge as you can, and where you miss a bit, like here where you've got to go across, that's okay. Those little itty bitty mixers, they just fill in that space. I know. So let's start on this corner. Now the good thing about this page, these strips, is they're flexible, as you can see, but you want to make sure they're nicely stuck down. So when I get to these antlers, I just want to make sure I've done that not upside down, thank heavens. I will go in perhaps a little bit and then back out, back around, so you can see how flexible it is. You don't want it too close to that edge. If you have it too close to the edge, you're going to actually be able to see it. Where is my card? You're going to be able to see it when you look down there. So you want to leave it a little way back. I just want to make sure it's nice and stuck down. Now, one of the secrets for using foam adhesive sheets, and I've learnt this lesson, is don't let it go old, because you need it to be really, really sticky and flexible. And I've got some that I've had since it was first released quite a few years ago, and it doesn't stick as well as I want it to. So I've had to get some new stuff out. Hope this is going to make it all the way around here. Yes, it is. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Now, where I join those pieces, which is there and here, I want there to be no holes, or otherwise some of those itty-bitty pieces are going to escape. I'll grab my scissors. I know. So you can see, whoops, camera shakes a bit. This is one little join there, so there's no hole there, and there's another join there. Now, I'm not going to take off this yet until I'm ready to, because otherwise other stuff will stick to it. Now, I also need to be able to support the rest of this piece, so I've got to run some foam strips around. Now, I don't have to make it edge to edge. Now, foam strips are slightly thicker than stamping dimensionals, so you don't want to be mixing them because you don't want it different heights. You want the same heights all the way around. Now, you could do little pieces, you can do big pieces. You just have to do whatever works for you. And this is the perfect opportunity to use some of those small pieces that you might have left over from other projects. So a little hole there. And I might just put a little tiny bit there. So I do use a little bit of this. Now you could also do this. So there we go. So hopefully you can see. So now I want you to know that it's in that little area here, the butterfly area, that I'm going to add the little mini dimensionals now. But I'm not going to do it yet because you know what's going to happen. If I throw them in there now, it's going to turn pear-shaped. Now, I've decided that I want this side of the embossing folder, but I could also equally, if that's the side that you like, you could do it there. I'm going to add, actually I'm going to wash my fingers because you know my fingers are going to be a little sticky, so I'm grabbing a baby wipe or a stamping wipe as I call them. So they'll just take away some of those fingerprints, any of the dirt that I have collected as I made this card. I know. So now I actually learned something. I've always secured my window sheets, which come in a sheet of 2, 12 by 12, also from my online store. I've always used tear and tape or glue dots. I've discovered I can use multi-purpose glue. Whoop, whoop. Now, my piece is slightly smaller than this top piece. So I've cut down my window sheet just to make it a little smaller, which makes it easier to apply. So I don't want to put glue to the very edge. Now this is quite a detailed embossing folder, so it's a little harder to glue. So you need to use a fair bit. And you need to go right around that edge of the butterfly because you don't want that window sheet popping up at all. And those little antler, tiny bit of glue on there. As I said, you don't want this squishing out anywhere. Haven't got any glue down there. So easy as. So all I'm going to do is I've kept this nice and clean, but I'm just going to give it a little wipe and then put this on the back side of this embossed layer. Now, let's get rid of that glue. I'm just going to use my bone folder just to gently, I don't want to press it too hard. Now, I don't want that glue squishing anywhere either. So hopefully you can you see, you can't really see the glue, but it's there, which is probably a good thing. I've probably used the right amount. So what is then going to happen is that's going to line up directly over that butterfly. But before I do that, now I can just see this one might be just a bit low, even though I've only cut it 1/8 of an inch smaller than the card base. And I can also see that one snuck over a little bit. So just have to squish that back just a bit. Now, here's my gorgeous itty bitty bokeh mix. Just gotta look how sparkly that is. There's my spoon. Here's my spoon. It's already escaped. I know. Now I've got to keep some because we're making this card on the weekend. So I've still got some vacancies. So probably a teaspoon is what I have there. I like it with a few more, but these, I'll do a little tiny couple more. I know. Then I'm going to peel all this off. Just got to stop and think because it's one of those cards that you've got to get in the right order. There's an escapee. Now, there's a couple of things you can do here because sometimes these sequins or whatever version you might be using, it's a great opportunity to use up stuff that you've got left over. So that's how it's now going to look. Just whoa! So I've got to line it up so it's exactly as I want it. So want to keep your fingers out of the way. So I've got a little tiny border around this. There we go. So there's, how easy was that? So again, I want to make sure that top layer is sticking well to those foam strips underneath. There's no little areas that anything's going to escape on either side. So it's always an easy way to turn it over. Now, look how good that is. Now, Myrtle said, very clever putting the butterfly on the card. Well, I had to come up with something because when I made the first one, which you all saw in that reel that I did, when I made the first one, I didn't have a good shape. And I was working from the top shape and I couldn't get these little hooahs to go in where I wanted them. Now, let's go. The card's done, as you can see. So I've just got the last few little stamps to go on the inside. Now, where's my card? So the only thing I have to do now is add the For You, which I've stamped. I wanted to make sure I kept to time. So I just use some of that little bokeh card, bokeh designer series paper. I don't need that piece. And then I also wanted to add just something to pop it up to give it a bit of dimension. So we're, oops. Actually, I might glue that down first. It's kind of a, so just at the bottom I'm running a, hopefully you can see this. There we go. Cut that off. And then that's going to pop up there, and I'm going to be using some of the mini dimensionals. Really knocked around this pack, haven't I? Let's bring it down and show you. Oh, got 3. I know all of you would have only put 2 down. I had 3 there. So let's pop this up. Now I could have used the foam strips as well. Having trouble with that. So let's just put it in the same place as I did before. That's not straight. Let's see if I can. That's better. And then I'm going to add 3 pieces of this. Actually, it doesn't even look like I've used any of these. I felt like I was running out at one stage. Now, all I do for this is I add, well, I make sure my tip's nice and clean. Add a little drop of glue. I don't want too much. Need a space where there's enough room for one of these little gems. Maybe down here. I don't know. This is a bit of a challenge. I haven't used this for so long. Let's see. Probably needs a little replacing. Okay. This is part of the take a pick. So let's pick up one of these. Oh, there's about 5 there. Look at that go. There we go. So it's got a little bit of blue tack on it, or I'd call it blue tack. I just want to stick that down. Let's pick up another one. I don't care what colour. Just pick up, because they've got a bit of static on them. So I'll put that one down there. Put that there. I've got one more. Let's see if I can get a blue one. And we'll put that one there. Righto. So there's the front. Got to decorate the inside of the card. So all I've done is put the lid on. Alright, so all I've done is I'm going to add, now on the front of the card I've got for you, so thankful. I'm going to do it in Night of Navy, if I can find it. Whoa, that was close. Let's get rid of this for the moment. So thankful. Let's give it a test. I'm going to put it up a little further than I normally do. Oh, I have to do the butterfly. Do maybe a butterfly. See how that stamps. Perfect. Then I'm going to add, there's these little background, I'll show you what they look like. little background. We have it in lots of our stamps. So you can see, hopefully you can see, yep, you can see that. Righto. But I want to stamp off. Just takes away a little bit of the, I know, there we go. And I can stick that in this one. And card done. Now that's 2 shaker cards in less than 45 minutes. Now, if you're interested and you live local, oh, that's not what I want, and you live local and would like to come to Sunday's class, I still have some vacancies, but I will be closing the class off tomorrow. So what do you think? Don't hesitate to contact me. Now, I've just got to go back to this card so I can put it together. Because remember, I needed this butterfly to finish it off. So I've used all the pieces. Let's get rid of that now. Glenda has said, I've made shaker cards look easier, technique I should use again. Oh, I'm glad. Dottage, I missed that. But I mean, anybody could do these. This is the thing about, if you break it down into steps, you're going to have no trouble with this at all. I'm adding some glue to here, to the back of that butterfly that I die cut early. Then I'm going to add the black body. There we go. Now, what I did discover is I felt that, I'll just show you, where this sits onto the card. Now remember, that's our shaker card. Now see it. Is I want to stick that down, but I did originally just put some glue dots, mini glue dots down there. However, I did need to go a little further out to give it a little bit of support. So here's my glue dots. So I always go, well, nearly always, I go paper. So hopefully you can see this. Rather than pulling them off with my fingers and losing all the adhesive, this is a lot easier. And does anyone know, if I had used the multi-purpose glue, would it have stuck to this envelope, do you think? Who's had a go at that? I'm going to swap this over, actually, make it a little easier. So I'm just putting another 2 a little further out, just to give it a bit of support. Who's going to make shaker cards? Dottage's turn for those little dots. If you watch, I never heard that before. I know. So I can put this on a little bit of an angle if I wish. Oh, I meant to do something. I know. Now, but I want her to fly a little bit. I've done this. I've missed out a step. I've done so well getting all the steps right. I'm not sure. Can I pick? Oh, I might be able to sneak something under there. I'm going to have to cut this down a little bit. See if I can sneak this under. I only want one end of it glued. Let's see if I can sneak to make this a little neater than it was. There we go. You wouldn't know if I press that down. Then I've got, whoops, sorry, these 2 little butterflies to add. wherever I like to add them. So I'm going to use some more glue dots. Now, does anyone know? I'll give it a go. It looks interesting. You're definitely happy? Yes, definitely happy to go. Thank you. As with everything, so many cards look difficult, but once you break it down to step by step, which is what our jobs as demonstrators are, it's always a lot easier. There we go. So the two cards, let's clean up my mess a little bit. And Glenda, your little pretty cat was, once she settled, she heard that, has been a little angel actually. So these are the cards. So which one do you like? The real, oh, that's not working, is it? The really easy one, or actually, which is, I think this is the one I made. No, this is the one I made tonight. So which one would you make? Or which is your favourite? The simple, easy one or the balmy blue one? So, and I didn't say that to you, that's actually balmy blue cardstock. Berry Burst. So the Berry Burst one or the balmy blue. Leave a comment and let me know. Now, I'll also be adding the measurements I'm going to be posting on a blog, on my blog. Has anyone been checking out my blogs? Because I've been updating my blog, which has been lacking a little bit of love lately. And so you will see the measurements and also the link to this video on my blog over the next couple of days. So, nobody's deciding on anyone. They like both. Well, this is the one that we're going to be making on Sunday. So I think it'll be a really easy one, and I think everybody will have a good time. So Jeanette, this is one of the cards from Sunday. Easy one to make multiples, balmy blue for one or two. Yes, I don't think I would be making tons and tons of these. This one could easily make tons of those. So, and such a simple, and not using too many supplies. I mean, you don't need these butterflies. You can just add a little die cut from Designer Series paper, fussy cut, little sentiment, and it'll just work as well. But I just wanted to show off all those pieces of the butterfly suite. So Pat likes the balmy blue one. Ideo. Well, thank you, everybody. If you're watching this on replay, thank you very much. Leave a comment. I always read the comments, whether they're live or afterwards or on replay, and whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Also, leave a comment if you think the lighting has improved with my new lighting setup, because it's interesting working with new equipment, and it does take a little bit of difference setting them up. So thanks, everybody. So glad to have you here. Hopefully I see some of you on Sunday, and if you haven't booked in yet, you've still got till close of business tomorrow. I'll do the cutout on Saturday. Can't wait to see you all. See you next week for another how to make something easy that looks difficult. I'm sure there's a quick word for that. Bye for now. Hope you have a fabulous week.